In this video, we will learn how to create a test case in script authoring mode. As a part of this exercise, we will see an example of a test case where we will select items from a commercial website and verify the details. Here we are going to explore two aspects of creating test cases in Copado Robotic Testing. First, we will see how to create a test case in QEditor using keywords and run each step through live testing to see how our test steps interact with the website in real time. In the second scenario, we will use the UI recorder feature that allows you to create a test case by recording the actions you are performing on the website. So let's go ahead and see what we just talked about. Before we start, make sure you already have a project and robot added to your organization. So you have a project and robot associated with your organization. Let's go ahead and add an empty suite to your robot. Open the QEditor. The empty suite comes up with preliminary settings that outline the overall test configuration. For instance, in the Suite Setup action, the defined browser is Chrome, which means the system will automatically use the Chrome as a reference browser to open any URL. You can always change the settings as per the requirements. For now, we will leave it as is. Before we start creating a test case, let's launch the live testing terminal so that we can monitor the behavior of test steps while we run it. Now we will create the test case. Let's start by giving your test case a suitable name. Now press Enter to go to the next line. We will start by explaining the intent of the test case. Remember to press the Tab key to add 2 space gaps between keyword and argument. That applies to the documentation as well. Press the Tab key, select Documentation from the suggestion, and write the explanation. Our first test step would be to open the URL link where we will buy products from. So Go to and provide the website link that we want to navigate to. The first test step is now ready. Let's go ahead and see this in action. Click on the lightning bolt icon on the screen to execute your current selection. You see how the smart engines open the URL for you as you defined in the test step. Now we have to select a Bumble the Elephant t-shirt and add it to the cart. So here the steps would be: click text Bumble the Elephant and click text Add to Cart. Let's execute them one by one. Now we have added our t-shirt to the cart. Let's change the color of the t-shirt to green before we check out. So write the next test step as drop down with color and green respectively and execute it. Now create a step for checkout. The next step is to verify whether the total amount of our order reflects the correct amount, which in this case should be $9. So let's create the test steps for this situation. As you can see, we have $9 at 2 places. But we want the system to verify the price for the one that reflects in the total amount. So here we will add one more action item, which would be Anchor. Anchor is an additional configuration that binds to find the right element from the duplicated ones. They can be textual and numeric. In this action item, the numeric anchor 2 has been added that hints the test execution framework to verify the $9 in the second instance of the page. Now go ahead and run this test step. As can be seen, the system verified the amount in the second instance as defined in the test step. Save your changes and run your test to see the results. The result shows that the test passed successfully, and the results are presented in a hierarchical view. We covered the first scenario where you created the test case with keywords. Let's get to the second scenario where we will create the test case with a UI Recorder feature. Let's head back to the suite and now select the UI Recorder option you see on the screen. Our UI Recorder is now ready. Now, whatever the actions you will perform on the website, the system will record all the steps for you. Let's see how. As a part of this exercise, we will repeat the same steps as we did while creating the test case with the keywords. To create our first test step, go ahead and type in the URL to the browser address field. As you noticed, the Smart Robot Framework recorded the step for you. Now go ahead and perform some more actions, such as selecting the t-shirt, adding the same to the cart, changing the color from cream to green, proceeding to checkout, and finally verifying the total order price. Sometimes the UI Recorder creates additional steps. For instance, click text, green anchor is equal to color, is an additional step the system created as part of our action. However, you can delete it from the actual test case. Now stop the recorder and paste all the recorded steps into the test panel. Let's remove the extra step. Save your changes and run the test. You can check the results and validate the status for each test step. Now you have learned how to create test cases in Copado Robotic Testing using script authoring mode. Go ahead and try creating your own test cases. Good luck!